Hi everyone, it's Bernard here with the latest Citizen vlog. It's a Sunday, the 5th of January 2020, so it's the day after the FA Cup third round against Port Vale. Manchester City 4, Port Vale 1. So we're having a look at that. I'm looking at just a quick look at the previous meeting with Port Vale and a bit of a City pass, but it won't be for long. Just a bit, just to give you an idea of what I sort of do on those vlogs as well. Just a quick look at the last time we played Port Vale in the FA Cup. Obviously the game, we'll be doing our Stuart, Brennan player ratings, etc. Pep Watch, and obviously we'll be looking forward to the game against our enemy United on Tuesday night in the first leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. And of course, just a quick look at Twitterverse, what's been going on there, just a couple of things on there to look at. Yeah, Port Vale, I mean, obviously, we've only played them 22 times in our history, but they were actually the third team we actually played. They weren't Port Vale, and we weren't Manchester City. We were Hardwick at the time in 1892, 1893. So that was actually our third league game, which I think we did win on the day, 2-1, I think it was, which is a popular score, which you'll see in a minute. But yeah, I mean, so they were, it's quite a bit of history related there, but we've only obviously played in the league 22 times in total. We've won 17, drawn 1, lost 5, and we've only played once in the FA Cup. It's quite interesting because we played them, Port Vale, in the FA Cup in 1990-91 season. Obviously, even the evening news did the specials. Having a look before, I've got a special there on this FA Cup for this season, and why it was significant, perhaps because it was 110th FA Cup. Obviously, we'd been in the final in the 100th year, hadn't we, of the FA Cup? So anyway, that was the Port Vale. Team was quite interesting on the back. You had Tony Colton, Ian Brightwell, Neil Poynton, Alan Harper, Mark Brennan took the place of Colin Henry, Steve Redmond, David White, Adrian Heath took the place of Clive Allen, Niall Quinn, Gary Megson, Mark Ward, and the subs were Clive Allen and David Brightwell. So, yeah, and we ended up, obviously, that game, we did end up winning it, which is fortunate, wasn't it? And there's a lot of that's one of my scrapbooks from the time, Port Vale 1, Manchester City 2. So, I mean, there's some great pictures there, action pictures from the game. There's a lot of sort of promise for City that we were going to do all right this season, the 1991 FA Cup, that as though we're going to have a good run in the FA Cup. City have Wembley luck. Look at the sort of headline there, Clyde Cracker. And he wants to stick with City, so obviously Clive Allen, a great picture of Niall Quinn there. Look at the kit, I think that's the maroon kit, is it? If you were there, I didn't actually go that day, but if you were there, oh yeah, it will. There you go, there's the old maroon kit. Great kit, isn't it? Clive Allen and Niall Quinn celebrating. Some of the scores that day, Liverpool 2, Brighton 2. That was a score. Millwall 4, Sheffield Wednesday 4. That sounds like an interesting game. Norwich 2, Oldham 0. Portsmouth 5, Bournemouth 1. Obviously, we won 2-1. How did Tottenham go on? Because they're relevant, aren't they? Obviously, Tottenham 4, Oxford 2. So, some great scores that day. Killer Clive is City hero. So yeah, I mean that was interesting. I had a look at that, and obviously there's a lot of optimism, wasn't there, that we could go all the way to Wembley. But who do we get in the 5th round? Unfortunately, we got Notts County, and we lost 1-0 with the 88th minute winner. And I think Niall Quinn hit the post, I think, or missed when he could have scored very late on. But that was the 5th round, and yes, who would we have drawn? Who would you have drawn? I mean, that would have been a replay then at Main Road. Obviously, we'd managed to win that one, but obviously another cup run comes to an end. But Notts County, who beat us, got drawn against Tottenham in the next round in the quarterfinals. So obviously Tottenham did go on to win the FA Cup that season. So there was some significance there. Perhaps we could have. If we'd got past Notts County, perhaps we could have beat Tottenham and it would have been a different story. Who knows? But we'll never know now. Anyway, that was quite interesting. Anyway, on to yesterday's game. I hope you enjoyed that. I said that's the sort of thing I do on the City Pass vlog. So if it's any interest to you there, the scrapbooks and programs, I look back at things on City Pass. So please have a look on the playlist for all that stuff. Right, yesterday, another great cover, obviously, which you've the fantastic Tony Buck, and if you've done my quiz recently, there's a clue on the picture there, and one of the answers to the City quiz I did on a City Pass, which has been, again, very popular. This is yesterday's programme, obviously. That's a better picture of the inside, and there's the wonderful Harry Dow, one of the first goalkeepers I was watching, and in the background there, another relevant figure, Glyn Pardoe. So we all know why he's so relevant, don't we? Glyn Pardoe in the background there as well. Well, that's one of my favourite pictures. The City fans have been putting together a dream team for the decade. Obviously, different fan channels have been doing them. This is one that Citizens actually run. So if you have a look at that, I mean, I'll run through it in a minute and just give my options and what most people's options may have been different to that. I got 2 players different to that. I mean, on the Citizen pages, they've obviously voted. Thousands of people voted. So we've ended up with Edison in goal. I mean, I would have probably picked Hart, to be honest with you, for the decade, although I love Edison. But I just think for his consistency in the early years, I would have picked Hart. Zabaleta, Company, Laporte and Kolarov at the back. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Kevin De Bruyne, Yaya Toure and David Silva across the middle. Yeah, I mean, there's no room for Fernandinho there because they're playing a 4-3-3 formation, but obviously I would have put Fernandinho in there. And up front, they've got Bernardo Silva, Aguero and Raheem Sterling. I wouldn't have probably picked 2 of my favourite players, Sterling and Silva, but I would have probably picked Tevez alongside Aguero up front. So I said, and Fernandinho in the middle and Hart in net. So that would have been my changes for what it's worth to the dream team. If you have any thoughts on that, put them in the comments below. There's one last thing I'll look at on this before we leave. Yeah, it's just Jill Scott. Obviously, the woman don't talk much about women's football. I have a sort of passing interest. It's not my sort of thing, but it's nice that Jill Scott picked up an MBE, which is absolutely fantastic for her. Anyway, great programme, great cover, an image again rather than a hand-drawn thing, which, as you know, is great for me. I love that sort of thing. Right, there were 7 changes to the team, wasn't there, that he made. So we started with Bravo, Cancelo, Taylor, Harwood, Bellis, Stones, Angelino, Gundogan, Zinchenko, Silva, Aguero, Foden and Bernardo. A little bit different to what I thought, but it's a bit... You never know with these FA Cup games, do you? What's really going to happen with that team? The subs were Doyle, Mahrez, Carson, Garcia, Walker, Sterling, and Jesus, which is great. It's nice to see John Stones back, wasn't it? It's nice to see Bellis getting a start as well. That was really good. Stats of the game: 66% for City, 34% for Port Vale. 23 shots for City with 10 on target. Just 3 shots for Port Vale with 1 on target, which ended up in the back of the net. But let's not disparage anybody for that, eh? Corners, 9 for City and just 1 for Port Vale. A crowd, 52,433. So a couple of thousand down on capacity. Obviously, there's about 8,000 Vale fans there, which they had a good day out, didn't they? And, they did come up with... people slagging them. At the end of the day, they're second division fans, aren't they? I mean, all credit to them, and all right, they're going to have a dig at us, aren't they? Try and have a bit of banter, whether it's correct or not. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a nice day out for them, wasn't it? And yeah, they did all right. Again, I was surrounded by people I didn't recognise. A lot of people I didn't recognise in the so-called singing section. Apparently, the block next to us, which is usually the away fans, obviously there's a couple of blocks there. There's a lot of people from the South Stand level 3 in there, etc. I was told there'd be a few singers in there as well to try and link up all the singing section with the round the corner bit with the singing section of the new Kippax, if you like to call it the Kippax. But it were okay. I mean, the City wasn't great atmosphere for the City fans, to be honest with you. Port Vale were okay for what they are, and if you've got 8,000 people all together, you should have a good atmosphere. There's a bit of animosity, a bit of silliness from them, and etc. But hey, we're not averse to that ourselves. We're not sort of we do enough of it, don't we? We still have our idiots who cause trouble, etc. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad a game. On to the good, the bad, and the ugly. The game itself. They started well, Port Vale, as you were expecting to do, but obviously it was City who scored first with the. I think it was a Gundogan assist to Zinchenko, and Zinchenko got a bit lucky. I don't think his shot was going in. Obviously, he shot from about 22, 23 yards. He did celebrate as though he just won us the European Cup final, mind you, which is all right, but a bit needless. I mean, it took a deflection. It was 1-0, and yeah, it was credited to him because it was obviously just about on target. But as I say, I think the goalie had it covered. So that was the first bit of good. I mean, the bad, the goal from them. Again, people are blaming Angelino, but at the end of the day, sometimes I think the winger did quite well. He did a great cross, did really well. And again, people are blaming Taylor Howard-Bellis for allowing Pope to get his header in, but I think he was behind him, and he obviously he's a canny forward, isn't he? Pope, he's been around a long time. He's a bit of obviously a nasty piece of work to his fellow players, but hey, that's another story, isn't it? But hey, he got his goal, and John Stones was nowhere near him. I would have thought John Stones would be marking him, actually, not Taylor Howard-Bellis, but there you go, just because of obviously you've seen the links between Pope and Stones and the animosity there, etc. Anyway, so yeah, it's 1-0. It was a bit of a damp squib, wasn't it? I mean, it was obviously it lifted the Port Vale fans. And I think before we scored added the second, I think did Silva hit the bar from, I don't know how he hit the bar, the ball came across, I think it's from Bernardo, was it? I'm not sure, Bernardo, and I watched it this morning, how he hit the bar. He sort of overrun it, I think, with his left foot, so he was falling over as he hit it, ended up hitting the bar, and obviously Sergio couldn't get to the sort of rebound off the bar. But obviously it wasn't long. We did get the second goal before half time on 42 minutes. Again, on the next three of our goals were sort of nice little 2 or 3 pass routines, weren't they? It was a superb put through ball by Gundogan, and then Foden brilliantly. I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was shooting. He was definitely sort of. He stretched to play it back across the goal, and obviously Aguero was there, but obviously there's a bit of doubt whether it was offside. So there's a bit of a delay. Aguero didn't celebrate. Again, the VAR thing. I mean, 2 or 3 of the goals yesterday, it just didn't feel right yesterday in the crowd. It just didn't. There's not a lot. There wouldn't have been a mad celebration anyway. We're playing Port Vale, second division side in the FA Cup. There wouldn't have been mad celebrations, but it just felt a bit weird, VAR yesterday, as though it totally impinged even more than it normally does for Premier League games for some reason. Perhaps because Port Vale don't normally have to suffer it like we do. So perhaps they enjoyed it in a way, I'm not too sure. But anyway, it was a great goal, fantastic goal. Watch it back. I've watched it back 2 or 3 times, absolutely fantastic. So we're going at half-time, 2-1. It's okay. Port Vale have probably shot the bolt by then. We doubt they're going to do much in the second half. The next bit of good, obviously, was the Taylor Howard-Bellis goal, which I mean, he did admit he was trying to get out of the way, and it did look as though he was getting out of the way because obviously there was a potential for him to be offside, but I think a heel came into it, and we had the dotted line mess again, didn't we? So no one knew. Just obviously, there's no real celebration in the crowd. I think Gary James tweeted last night. And I think this was the goal where after the goal, the referee went over to the linesman. The linesman was told by the fourth official to then put his flag up to flag for offside. Then it was proved that he wasn't offside. So the linesman looks an idiot, the ref looks an idiot, and we're all idiots for actually accepting this crap, aren't we? To be honest with this VAR, it's absolutely ruining it. I try and be positive about it and say, yeah, I'll still enjoy it. But yesterday, I didn't really celebrate any of the goals, to be honest with you, because I was just expecting VAR. Perhaps not Zinchenko's, but certainly the next 3 VAR to rule them out. And it's wrong, isn't it? It is ruining football totally. But anyway, that was just an absolute joke. Credit. So Taylor Howard-Bellis, first ever goal for Manchester City, even by default. Yeah, even if it hadn't been VAR, perhaps he would have jumped up and been a bit more energetic about it. But if you're going to score your first goal, it's not the greatest way to score it, is it? But hey, there you go. Well done, mate. You got it, didn't you? Then we had a little bit of bad, and this is perhaps the only real chance Vale had in the second half. Stones, I think he made a poor clearance, and it ended up a diving header for the Port Vale player who headed it wide, even though he probably should have done a lot better with it. But again, that was Stones' only real fault. But he does dwell. He looks overconfident. That's his problem. He's looked like that for England as well as that for City, where he sort of plays these passes as though he thinks he's got more time than he has, and it ends up the opposing player gets a touch on it or a block or something like that. And again, it was the same sort of mistake by John Stones, which is unfortunate, and he's never learning, is he? Unfortunately, so that is a bad. I hope he sort of gets over it and starts to, but he needs to run the games. I think Pep says that in the press conference after he was asked pre-match about John Stones, and he was saying obviously he can get to a better level, but he's not getting the consistency through whatever reason, injuries, etc., psychological problems that we don't know. But it doesn't bode well, does it? I don't think, for Mr. Stones. And the next good, obviously, when we went 4-1 up, a superb, again, another well-worked goal, 76 minutes. Angelino, again, was there a hint of offside in that again? So we weren't overly sure, but thought fantastically. I mean, well put in by Angelino, who looked pretty good going forward. Wasn't so hot defensively, which he didn't have much to do anyway. But a great goal for Foden. We had a couple of subs, Mahrez for Silva, and then obviously Tommy Doyle. I mean, we mentioned Glimpardo before, didn't we, on the thing? But Tommy Doyle for Gundogan. It's great to see Tommy Doyle come onto the pitch. Player ratings, yeah, because I don't not much more to say. It was a easy-ish game, wasn't it? Player ratings, there we go. So Stuart, Brennan, Claudio Bravo, no chance with the goal, despite some fans wanting to blame him for everything and otherwise sound. So again, we're playing a weaker team yesterday, so I've started at 6 as my base scores, but obviously I've not gone mad with too many scores yesterday because of the opposition, so I've not gone over the top. But Stuart Brennan give Bravo 6. I give him a 6 as well. I mean, right, 1 shot on target, 1 goal, but there you go. That, very Bravo-esque, isn't it? But you can't really say much, can you? You can't blame him because not really to blame. But then again, he never stops them, does he? So that's the other thing. Cancelo surging threat down the right in the first half. Guardiola's warning seems to have been heeded. So he's give Cancelo 7 out of 10. Yeah, I thought he played quite well, Cancelo, and I have given him a 7, which is perhaps generous. I was going to do 6.5, but I've given him a 7 like Stuart. John Stones, his anticipated battle with Pope did not materialise as the Vale man fought a lonely battle up front. Yeah, he's giving John Stones a 6, and even allowing for that dodgy area. I'm not going to be giving anyone less than a 6 today, so I'll give John Stones a 6 as well. Taylor Harwood-Bellis knew little about his goal, and he learned from Pope's goal by getting much closer in the second half. So he's given him a 6, Harwood-Bellis. I give him a 6.5. I think he's been being unfair there. And yeah, he did know a lot about the goal. He was trying to get out of the way of it. He wasn't trying to claim the goal because it was going in. I know there was a defender near him, but he wouldn't have got to it. Zinchenko thundered in the opening goal, but then showed his vulnerability at the other end for Pope's equaliser. Yeah, so there's a lot of criticism for this one equaliser by Port Vale, but players do make mistakes. So he gives Zinchenko a 6. I give Zinchenko a 6.5. I thought it was okay. I mean, and then say at least he was willing to have the shot to get the goal, so I give him a little 0.5 extra on top of my basic anyway. Gundogan ordering the first half until his pass led to Aguero's goal, and he ran the midfield from that moment on. Yeah, I mean, Gundogan was okay. I'll give him a 6.5 again, a little bit better than average, so I'm happy with that. Stuart give him a 7. David Silva, his open goal miss will haunt his dreams tonight, but recovered to play his part in hypnotising the Vale defence in the second half. So he's only give David Silva a 6. Again, I give him a 6.5. I'm not going to give him any less than that. I thought, yeah, it was a shocking miss, but I'm not going to knock too much off for that. I mean, he played pretty well. He looked, against the second division time. Yeah, he looks as he is. He has time to find certain passes and play it around. Phil Foden, Stuart Brennan upped his game after a slow start, playing a big role in the second and third goals, and buzzing around the Vale penalty area. So yeah, he's given him a 7. I've equalled that. Yeah, I've give Phil Foden a 7 as well. I mean, he's got a goal in there as well, so may have pushed me to 7.5, but I'll give him a 7. I'll stick with 7. I'm not going to go mad, as I said, because of the opposition. Bernardo Silva opened up his box of tricks a few times with some lovely close control in tight areas, a smart back heel and plenty more. He's given him an 8, Bernardo Silva. Yeah, I mean, I thought he played really well, but I'll give him a 7 again. Again, I'm not going to go overly mad because it's the opposition, but I think Bernardo's playing a little bit better now. I've seen little hints that he's on his way back to somewhere near, and obviously nowhere near what he did last year, but somewhere coming back to it. Sergio Aguero, Stuart Brennan, quiet for 40 minutes, but then popped up with the second goal and created the third with a smart header across the goal. He's given him 7 out of 10, Sergio. Yeah, I mean, I give him a 6.5. Again, I probably may have been pushed to a 7 there, but I think with Sergio Aguero now, he is one of these where he doesn't seem to be doing too much, but he's popping in with the goals and assists. So what more can you ask, I suppose? I don't know, but it's interesting with Sergio. But he needs if he gets a good run, I think we'll see a lot more again off Sergio. Angelino, Stuart Brennan offered with but little penetration in the first half, but as Vale faltered, he turned provider for Foden's goal. So he's given him a 6, Angelino. I give Angelino. What did I give Angelino? 6.5. I give Angelino again. I thought he played really well going forward. He's got limitations defensively, but we know that. There's nothing new, is it? Riyad Mahrez, he give him a score. He give him a 6, which is the basic. I'm not going to give Mahrez more than a 6. Obviously, Doyle wasn't actually worth marking because he wasn't on the, I give Doyle an 8 for who he is, but obviously as far as the game was concerned, he wasn't really there, was he? So there you go. Pep Watch. Well, it was a brief after match. He's still got his cough, hasn't he? I mean, he was asked some questions about the game, and he commented, we're in the next round after an incredible amount of games. Said Pep, we played seriously in the first half. We struggled a bit, but the second half was better. I think in general the team did okay. Our game was there all the time. The Premier League, we are far away. I have to focus on taking second position. In the other comps, we go game by game. And he was asked about Taylor Howard-Bellis, about the contribution. And Pep said, Taylor, when he's played this season, he's played really well. Of course, he's young. He's already scored for Manchester City. It was a bit of a weird goal, but it's a goal. It's important he plays at a good level. Eric Garcia and Taylor are young, but they play more than well. Young players, forgive the English, but it's better than my Spanish. Young players have not to talk too much, listen and learn. They have to learn. The future is in their hands. A privilege for us has to be in this club and play minutes with this team. And he was asked about the 3 local lads on the pitch, Foden, Howard, Bellis and Tommy Doyle. And Pep said, of course, he's important with Taylor, Phil and Tommy. Tommy played in the Carabao Cup and played a few minutes today. It's not because they are English, it's because they are good players. We don't give presents. What we have seen so far, they have the quality to help us. With City awarded 2 goals, so obviously he said that. With City awarded 2 goals with VAR checks, Pep was asked about this. If it was odd to see the players not celebrating goals. Yep, I agree. He said the opponent team, when it's not a goal, celebrate that. It's weird. Every time it's a goal, you have to wait on the behaviour of the ref. When it's clear, like the 4th goal, you can celebrate. The other ones, you have to wait. We have many experiences of that. There are many situations when it is not clear. And finally, apparently the Port Vale players were invited into the dressing room. He was asked about this, and Pep said, I was not there, but I think they changed shirts. It was a pleasure. I saw the manager and the sporting director. It's nice for us to host these clubs, for their players to realise we are the same. We are a different level, but dreams are dreams. So, yeah, it was only a 2.5, 3 minute press conference after, so that was that. I think they changed shirts. I think Zinchenko swapped his shirt with Pope. I think the other players refused, and I think Pope's had another dig on Twitter saying, yeah, he'll revise his things about 40 goals once he plays Stones. He'll now score 50. So, I mean, it's insulting, isn't it? There's no, but as players, yeah, I'll stand by my team. I'd have told him to go away as well, but not in such a pleasant way, to be honest with you. But he's at a level, Pope, isn't he? I suppose you have to give him a little bit of leeway. Yeah, Pep's cough's still there, isn't it? He's still got his cough. He's a little bit, he's looking. He has it for a few weeks over the winter. That's probably one of the reasons why he might leave us, actually, because of this cold weather. It can't be good for him. Before we leave the game yesterday, there was obviously the City fan zone for the young fans, and there was 2,600 of that yesterday. That was really good figure to see. So, yeah, that's that game covered. On Twitter, obviously, there's a bit of fallout with the Don Grant thing, with the obviously with the banner he held up about against VAR, and he obviously was interviewed by the MEN, and obviously City coming up with different versions, and he was claiming about the half time. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I would take anything Manchester City say with a pinch of salt. I mean, I was 2011 and 12 season, I was banned for 3 games for persistent standing, and they made claims that weren't true, saying I had refused to sit down. I was never at any time approached to be told to sit down. So City have got previous with me, so I'm not impressed. I don't believe a word they say. And if Don Grant says he just put it up during half time, I'll believe him, even though City's saying they have video evidence that he had it up throughout in the game while the game was going on. But I'll take anything City say with a pinch of salt on that score. Sorry, I'll support Don Grant with everything he says on that. And obviously, if you look at the Evening News, he does an interview on there. So if you go on to that, just check that out. That was on at Grant D10. That's his Twitter handle, at Grant with a capital G, capital D10, Grant D10. So please have a look at that and give him your support. I think he deserves it. Yeah, the joke yesterday at One Cornish Blue commented on the fact there was VAR at some games and not at others. So obviously Premier League teams had VAR, others didn't. Absolutely ridiculous. You either have it at every game or you don't. Absolutely stupid. And these people think we're idiots, and they're just a bunch of idiots that make these decisions. I don't know who they are. They're just absolutely useless. Ilkay Gundogan was obviously confirming the 5:31. I was a bit confused the other day, wasn't I? But it's all to do with the mental health campaign, isn't it? Take a minute to think about it. So my apologies for not knowing anything about that. But I don't, obviously I do know now, but perhaps all this publicity should have been before. Obviously, Ilkay Gundogan's commented yesterday about it at Ilkay Gundogan. You may ask yourself why the kickoff. It's part of the Heads Up campaign, which aims to get people talking to think about their mental health. So my apologies, a worthy cause and a good reason to start a minute later than normally. And it's unusual. I've seen some reports on social media and newspapers things, and the actual wording, and Ed Gabor at MCFC_Pride commented on it yesterday, and it was in quotation marks, Port Vale undone by VAR twice. Yeah, and I saw various connotations of that, undone by VAR twice. And obviously Ed's gone on to say, we scored 2 goals and they were confirmed to be goals. So, yeah, I mean, they weren't undone. They weren't unfairly treated. I mean, it was a goal. It was, VAR just proved that it was a goal. I mean, the ref and the linesman hadn't done anything, the linesman hadn't initially flagged for offside. So, no, they were good goals. So, to actually say undone by VAR or City get away with, I've seen headlines like City get away with VAR, for 2 goals against lowly Port Vale, as though there's something wrong with it. So, I mean, it's just absolute rubbish. Well, that's that. And have a quick, that's Twitterverse, nothing too much exciting. United v City on Tuesday night, Carabao Cup, 8 p.m. Obviously our last League Cup game there, we took I think it's Pep's first season, wasn't it? We lost 1-0 and we took a really weak team. I want us to go strong. I want us to, we owe them one, don't we, for the league game. We can't let that shower over there beat us in this Carabao Cup. That would be too depressing. And they managed no shots on target against Wolves yesterday in a thrilling game for the BBC to show us it. So no shots. And so let's hope the same happens again on Tuesday night. We've done well at Old Trafford, haven't we? Since the 6-1 game. I mean, we've won 2-1, we won 3-0, we lost 4-2, we drew 0-0, we won 2-1, we won 2-1, and we won 2-0. So, even though Etihad's been a bit in favour of United over the last few years, sadly, we do have the upper hand at Old Trafford. So let's hope we can do it. I believe there's still a few tickets, a lot of tickets left. But then again, everyone's whinging about City not selling our tickets. We've got over 3 weeks yet. So I don't know why everyone's complaining, whinging at City fans already. Give it a couple of weeks at least, and if there's still 20,000-30,000 tickets for sale, then have a go then. But I don't know. City fans like to have a go at each other. And then obviously we whinge when other fans have a go at us. But I mean, we're so horrible. I mean, City stick together, lads. You know what I mean? We just totally have a go at each other, blue on blue, all the time about things. And yet, and we get totally stick from everybody else. It's just pathetic. I mean, City fans are pathetic in the fact we have a go at each other, which is the pathetic thing. I mean, I see a lot of comments, so pathetic City, and we're a sad fan base. We haven't done this and we haven't done that. You grow up, start supporting your team, start supporting your fellow fans. I'll be critical of us when we obviously don't like yesterday. The atmosphere wasn't great. Yeah, I'm not going to be absolutely get on my high horse about it. I'm not going to say anything really derogatory about it. It's just one of those things. So the team I want to play United on Tuesday, Ederson, I want in goal. I don't want Bravo in goal. He's not I want my best goalie in for a semi-final. Simple as. And I know will Bravo play because it's a Carabao Cup, but I think we're giving United a little psychological advantage if Bravo plays on Tuesday. I want Ederson in net, please, Pep. Walker, Thurner. And I want Garcia next to Thurner. I don't particularly. Otamendi does all right against United, though. That's the only other thing. So there's a bit of qualms over this team, but because Otamendi does okay against United, actually, usually. So, but I do prefer Thurner and Garcia, but I won't be upset if Otamendi's in there. Mendy at left back. If all these people are fit, this is obviously I don't think there's any problems yesterday. Obviously, you've got Rodri then in front of the back four. And I want to be more positive. I nearly put Gundogan in, but Gundogan, Foden, but I'd perhaps for Gundogan, Bernardo, and perhaps for Foden put David Silva in, because David obviously he's not got many games left against United, has he? So I'm thinking Bernardo, Silva, and KDB obviously, and Sterling obviously. Let's hope he gets a bit of form. Sterling and Aguero. I won't play Jesus. Aguero seems to like playing against United. I think United will be more frightened of Aguero than they are of Jesus. So yeah, so it's a funny one because we've got a full squad. I mean, that's so that's keeping players like Bernardo and Silva on the Gundogan and Foden on the bench. But will Pep play Gundogan? This is it. He probably may play Gundogan on Tuesday, but I want to go for it. I want to be more positive, and I think a Rodri there sat in front of the back four of Mendy, Walker, Ferner, and Garcia, and then Bernardo and Silva are positive, and KDB and Sterling and Aguero. I think that's a positive team, but I have a feeling Pep might stick Gundogan in there. I'd love to see Foden in there, but again, who are you going to drop for Foden? Obviously, you'd probably drop David Silva, but it's just, I'm sure he'll be up for it against United. Anyway, it'll be an interesting team to see, won't it? And I'll be back on Wednesday with a review on the United game. Hopefully, a happy game, and then we look forward to the Villa game, don't we? In the league next week, and we get a few days rest, then, don't we? Do we have a bit of a break then for 5 or 6 days before the next game, which is always nice, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching that. Please push the old subscribe button if you want to know when these vlogs are coming out. And as I said, the City Pass vlogs, there's a couple out. The most recent ones, there's a nice City quiz on there. If you want 20 questions, 71 points, see how many you can get. See if you can beat me at 59. And obviously, there's a look at January 1977. So obviously on City Pass through, as you can see, through scrapbooks and programs, looking back at these seasons. So please have a look at those. They're all on the playlist below. Follow me on Twitter at nostalgia_movie, and on Facebook at Brennan, with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, which is my website for all things DVD, posters, and board games. So obviously that's my little website. If you can have a look on there, find a couple of minutes to have a prowl through there. Anything you're after, just let me know. I can point you in the right direction if I don't have it anyway. So that's moviegamenostalgia.com. Thank you so much for watching today. Whatever you're going to do with the rest of it, have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, and more importantly, look after your family. And I'll see you all again on Wednesday with a happy, smiley face, I hope. Thanks for watching anyway. Bye-bye.